Maniac here, and in this video we're going to be talking about Sargula. I've kind of created myself a mission to create the highest possible damage in Strife, and I got a little inspired by looking at the top 100 meta list yesterday when I created that video. And so what I'm looking at is how can I get the highest damage possible. I know Artemis right now is a dominating force, and Sargula took a huge drop, and I talk a lot of crap about Sargula, specifically around Void Ritual, but in looking at Demise, I kind of have some new insight here, and it really took opening my eyes a little bit more about how Demise isn't necessarily a downside to the damage that Sargula deals. You know, one of the things is she prevents MP recovery for all units for 3 seconds. I don't think that matters if your team is 100% support. So we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. And so in looking at all of the heroes, when you look at the top meta, it's really Ian, Mel, Sargula, and Artemis, right? So Artemis does scale on a percentage. So you could certainly do that. But I think based on some simple math that I did, there's a couple of things. So Ian, for example, Ian does scale, right? So you could certainly scale. So in order to get 100% of attack, you have to scale this by 21 times. You have to take the spell power and you need to scale it 21 times in order for this to hit 100. And so you could do that with Lunaires, you could do that with all kinds of other things to get this to be super high. When you look at Mel, it's 16 times. So I have to take Mel's 295 spell power, and I have to scale this 16 times this number. And for every 16 additional times I multiply this number, I increase this by 100%, 100%, 100%. So if I wanted to increase this by 1,000%, I would have to increase this by 160 times, right? That'd be about 40, 50, 55,000 spell power. And of course you want to increase attack at the same time so that you're getting lots and lots of insanity. When you look at Sargula, the state of Sargula is 7.8. I only need to scale this 12 times. So if I 12x my spell power with multipliers, I get to 100%. And when you combine that with the fact that we are doing 5x3 range, that makes Sargula the highest damage dealer in the game. And we'll look at Artemis just for the sake of looking at Artemis. Artemis does scale per percent now, and it's the same as Mel, so it's 16x. Now Artemis has range and all kinds of other stuff, but Artemis is basically the same stats as Mel. It's Mel with a gun, basically. It's Mel with a gun. And with Branch, obviously there's other things that go on. But Sargula definitely has the highest damage potential possible in the game, along with Lunaires. So keeping Lunaires alive is always going to be challenging, but all of the top heroes have that in common. It's, can you keep your Lunaires alive while running Sargula, or while running Mel, or while running, whatever. And so, I'm going to set kind of a goal for myself. I want to see like 50 million to 60 million, maybe even 80 million damage out of a single hero. And so we're going to be playing jank, but we're going to be playing like the heaviest meta jank possible. The higher the DPS, the more likely it is that we're going to stay alive. And so with that in mind, we are going to be running Demise Sargula, and I don't care about the Awakening. I just care about getting Sargula's attack as high as possible. Another reason why Sargula has a little bit more strength than, let's say, Mel, is Mel does have to 16x opposed to 12x spell power in order to scale. but Mel doesn't have a dedicated legacy that will do damage things. The best legacy for Mel is Giant Axe. You get attack speed, you get this, and then all your other stats only go up by 100%. So the same exact equipment that you would throw on Mel, if you threw that same exact equipment on Sargula, you just get an additional, 50% increase to stats. So that's pretty massive. Not only that, Sargula's tailor-made stuff gives defense, survivability, and does increase final damage by 2%. So if you do Dragon Slayer or Guardian's Excellence, all of those additional defense stats get turned into damage. So making Sargula the strongest character in the game. And so if we're going for like survivability and damage, we really need to make the strongest steel set possible. And I think the play is going to be doing as much attack speed as possible. So it starts with going with attack speed and thinking about what's going to give us survivability as well as attack speed. So if there are relics that give us damage mitigation, that's not as strong as giving additional defense. So I'm going to sit here and think for a second about what that would look like for us. I know the most obvious thing for us is going to be Void. We have to have summoners in order to insta trigger as much as humanly possible. So we do have Void Relic. The question becomes, do we do attack speed Void Relic, or do we do spell power Void Relic? My instinct is to do double attack speed, and then the last one. This will do deduct damage taken, which is not an increase in defense, so I'm not looking at that one. I'm going to think about this for just a second. Alright, so the most obvious thing in my mind is to do Fear Devour. It's going to take a few swings to get this Void up and running. That's another reason why attack speed makes a lot more sense, though. Fear Devour, if I did spell power, does give us our first increase to this attack. It really comes down to the Lunaires. Lunaires are going to be more important than these initial stats are. I'm actually considering doing an attack speed Fear Devourer. That would put us at 235 attack speed. That might be the more important play, but it's hard to say. I mean, I know that in game I'm not going. There's a cap on the amount of attack speed that I'm going to get. It's going to be based on bows, and it's probably going to be one bow, one staff, one sword, and then all the rest of the equipment on the Lunaire team. And I intend on putting Protection of the Moon on these Lunaires, and we're using Bardry to get Lunaires up and running. What we have discovered is if Sargula is on Teleport Pad and Lunaires are connected to them, even if Sargula disappears and reappears, they will still link onto her. So that is something that we're considering here in this build. But I think this first iteration makes sense. Let's also just get this fixed and kind of go from there. Now, another person who I think I want to throw on the Teleport Pad is going to be a Patros. So let's make sure I start thinking about that. I don't know exactly where everyone's going to go yet. I know I'm going to have a Bardry. I know I'm going to have Patros. I know I'm going to have probably a team of 4 Lunaires on the side. I definitely want to have a Tayson in this ball of funness. And then I think my original plan was a Belina in this, or a Belina with a Shelda, but I'm gonna think about that for a second. I mean, Central Region's Greatsword on Belina, not as good, right? Maybe I don't do Belina here, which is a weird sentence to say. Yeah, I think this is the right play, guys. I think this is the right play. And so from the top, it's going to be Sargula on teleport pad on this side, Patros in the middle, Bardry on the end. And those three get shipped out into teleport pad land. Bardry gets Patros online. Sargula has to get herself online with swinging Elizabeth in the front row, maybe 2 or 3 Elizabeths. Elizabeth will have their own Bardry, and we do a team of Asaks in the background utilizing Urkov. And I think that is the play. So that should give us the maximum amount of damage received. And the question becomes, if that's the right choice, is this considered spell damage? If it is, then that might be the wrong play. She deals physical form equal to attack. Yeah, you know what? Maybe that is the wrong play. Let's look at this. Takes increased spell damage. Yeah, it can't be a sock. Okay, so we basically have to rethink that. Alright, look at this spiciness right here. Fear set Belina with Central Region's Greatsword and 51 additional attack speed. I think that's pretty hysterical. So we're going to be exposing weakness, and we're going to be applying a good amount of menace every single time an auto turret fires. Auto turrets are going to be firing very consistently, so we're going to be keeping everybody nice and basically debuffed the entire time. I think this is pretty funny. There's a lot of ways you could do this. I think Belina, the other utility that we get here is I get to have that protection, and we will scale this for sure. So we will be adding protection to everybody. Bardry will be giving guard, a lot of guard to Sargula, which is going to then increase this. So the next step is I need to put on the absolutely tankiest, most insane steel set I could possibly build. I don't really have a lot of resources left. I blew through all my other stuff, but I'm going to see if I can put on the tankiest steel set possible on Sargula and see what we come up with. So this is as thick as I can get on this character here. We have 1,200 physical defense and close to 1,700 spell defense. You know, I wish this was like 2,000 and 2,000. I don't know if I could ever get there. So like, just so you guys can see what I'm dealing with, it's 200, 190, 130. I guess this is pretty weak. I could probably get better stats. I'll focus on that in a second. We have 200, 170, 60. It's pretty strong. 220, 140. And then 240, 100. I guess the earrings could be better too. Let me focus on getting a better necklace and a better earrings. And after burning 100 shards, I could not get anything better than that. So that is what we have, guys. We pushed this as far as we could go. I believe both of these numbers combined is the defense. I'm not entirely sure on how that stat works. It's super weird. We'll see what happens in game, but we certainly do have a lot of defense here, and it's going to scale with everything else that we do. So with that being said, I now have to think about, I think I'm going to do Spell Power Lunaire. I think that makes the most sense for us. So that's perfectly fine. We will be doing Morale Boost on our Patros. Now the problem is, I think I have to do Guard on Patros as well as the Bardry. I'm leaving this on here. Maybe. I have to think some more. So I ended up ditching Patros here. It just didn't make sense. So I have no choice. I don't usually do this, but I abandoned ship on the whole thought process I was doing with Sargula completely. No, I'm not continuing that Strife match. So here are some problems with Demise. Okay, Demise stops your Lunaires from coming online. So we basically can't use Teleport Pad. That's like the TLDR. So this is what was happening. I was teleporting Sargula up to the top. Sargula would essentially flip the switch on their void change, and then demise would kick on, and the Lunaires did not turn their blessings on yet. So I kind of have to put Sargula in a place where I need everything else to come online first. So that's where we are. So, with that being said, I'm going to probably go Blood Sword. I'm probably going to go Blood Sword. Because it's going to guarantee that I have 2 Mighty Blocks. Which is going to guarantee that my Lunaires don't get insta-killed at the beginning of the fight. That's kind of where I'm at. And I actually might do this instead. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm doing this. And the reason why I am is I don't think I don't necessarily need to. I'd rather have these 2 guaranteed online than not have them. This initial MP is pretty big, and this build loses without it. Another thing is, this is hysterical, but I'm not going to do it. We're going to go Tayson, and we're going to do Tayson Fear Set. It's just better. It's instant. And then Tayson himself is just good. And it didn't really work the way that I thought it was going to work. It was way too slow. So we're going to go with the faster option and just instantly fear everybody. Menace and do everybody. So it's going to go 2 Elizabeths, maybe 3, a Tayson. We'll have a row of Lunaires on the back, and go from there. Now, what I could potentially do instead is I could, if I wanted to. Maybe I won't do that. Let me think. Nope, this is what I do. And the reason why I do this is because Sargula's demise turns off MP. So everybody's having their skills turned off for 3 or 4 seconds. And it says 3 seconds, but it feels a lot longer than that. So Tayson will fire this ability immediately. And then if Tayson's MP gets turned off, it's like, who cares? I'm also going to do Tenacity because it fires the ability for free when the HP falls below 50. So that also should not be affected by demise. Hedang his ability gets turned off too with these stuns. So there's a lot of challenges to overcome with demise. So I don't even know if Hedang is really the right person either. Everyone's abilities are being turned off. So let me think. All right, I'm back, and maybe I don't know. I saw this exposed weakness. 6 Mighty Block builds on Mara, and I'm just trying to think of what would be helpful in this flex slot. I'm not going to get a lot of damage off of this, but I am going to get stunned. So maybe if I had like 2 Maras jumping around, doing backstab and stun and just being a menace, along with this Bloodthirst, and I'm doing an attack speed kind of set, like 37% attack speed. I'm not really worried about this. We're getting some special damage, and maybe Mara could essentially just insta-jump. Like, I'm looking at characters that if Demise goes on, they would have already fired their other stuff. Now, Tayson is also doing exposed weakness, and technically Tayson's exposed weakness is better. So I'm still kind of figuring out like what makes the most sense here for this build. I could do a Ren, but it's just like, it's not like, nothing contributes. I don't know. I think I might be overthinking all of this, to be honest with you. I might be thinking all of this. I know that I'm looking at like the MP, so it's like people who can do a thing and contribute in a solid way. And it's like maybe if Mara's still alive, Mara could still be jumping around and adding stun and kind of being menace, while also ripping off mighty blocks. Now I also noticed that mighty blocks do exist inside of Strife on certain users, certain heroes. I don't know. I'm gonna give this a shot. So 10, 10, and 10. This also means that I don't care which strat I get. I'll take any strat. I'll take them all. It doesn't matter because I already have my 10s. So that also frees me up from looking for the specific strat. It's literally any alter strat will be good. So let's run it. And I think we're good. All right, let's do it. Alright, we're in, and this will be my last video for quite a while. I think I spent way too much time putting this together. But I have fun making these, so, you know, that's why we're here. It's the love of the game. The game is, not the game specifically, but sort of. The love of making the content, I guess. So, now, this is not good. It worked. There we are. We have to see how things go. And no demise up front. Okay, so we'll get to 10 experience, which is a good sign for us. Move this over here. And yeah, so Tayson now by default has all the MP that we want Tayson to have, so it's pretty solid. Drop these. We do have Sargula here. We do not want Sargula to have demise, question mark. We replace this. And we kind of do this, right? Question mark? I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm doing. Don't judge me. Okay, let's keep going. Scavenger's good. I like both of these. We'll go with that. Okay, so that's exactly what we want. Barge before Sargula even gets up to the top, we have our Lunaires online. Growth enhancements, perfectly fine. We're going to get Altar of Heroes, Blacksmith, and Greed. That's perfectly good for me. And we get to have a reroll, which we will take. And I will take Sword, throw it right on Sargula, and we are actually looking pretty good. It's not bad. We'll take Scavenger, we'll lock, and I'm going to I'll probably pop, do this, and now we have our expand. Yes, Lunaires are online now. That is crazy. When I was running Teleport Pad, dude, Lunaires, they were not coming online. It was very ridiculous. I'll do Medal of Presentation. I'll pull these off. And let's see if I can get... Everything else is fine. We'll grab this, drop. And we're going to get a tier. The next tier up, I think it is what it is. We'll get tier 5 in 2 turns. So let's do it. And I will grab Sword. Let's see what we get. We'll grab this and go look for the attack speed. That seems fine. And nope, we don't need any of this stuff. So Sargula should be able to defeat with this guy here. We'll see. We are going to get stunned. The stun was ignored because of Mighty Blocked. And now we have a tier 5. Slick play on our part, and we are going to do that, and yeah, this is pretty good. So now we'll bring these guys back up, we'll expand, and start doing everything that we want to do, and probably this. We'll do another sword over here. We got Devil's Blood, which is perfect. God's Excellence would have been good too, but Devil's Blood's better. We'll grab some experience, grab some more attack speed. We do have Chow Boss, which we will lock on, and I'll hold this back. Everything else is looking pretty good. We got doubled up. We got doubled up on that Lunaire. And we just need Lunaire to come online. Yep, Lunaire came online before everything else happened. So that was pretty solid. Everything's going on. Everything's coming up, man. I don't care. I guess we'll do this. And we will definitely cause a banner loss, right? In the next 3 turns. So let's just focus on that. And let's cause a banner loss, right? We'll grab this and expand. Look for another one of these. I think we're okay. And yeah, I don't mind if it takes a second for Sargula to get online yet. I need Bardry to turn on Lunaire. I think it's important for us. We will drop that. That happens. And now we are online. Demise happens, but it won't matter. And we're doing it. Sargula is a killing machine. Killing machine. Did I get the win? I did. Okay, so we got the piece. We'll hang on to this once we finish. Actually, I think we made a mistake here. That's unfortunate. So we'll do a mighty block here. And I would have rather had a bow on Sargula, but we're okay. We're okay. Double goblin. And I'll probably drop both of these. Let's just upgrade everybody. And I think we are in a good spot. Combine. It doesn't matter where Lunaires are. Bardry kicks online. Sargula is at 6,000, and which is 400%. Which means we do 2.3. Yeah, 2.3 mil. Things are good there. Drop this. Throw this here. I need to find another Tayson, which would be good. And we'll just do this. We do have another Tayson right there, which isn't bad. And we really, honestly need another Elizabeth. Okie dokie. I think that's pretty fair. We'll do some more of these later, but for right now, we're in a good spot. Everyone has exposed weakness. Sargula's online, chomping things down, and we lose, actually. Round 9, I mean, yeah, of course, that makes sense. That makes sense. I wasn't paying attention. I think recover. So this actually is pretty garbage for us, but we do get to finish. So we do have recover MP. Ugh. And crit chance is okay. I mean, it's okay. Our baseline is 160% increase. That's pretty solid. We'll grab this. Grab this. Grab Chow Boss. And we'll lock on silver. Drop these two. Get this. And I have some winter armor might be it. Winter armor might be it. Winter armor might be it. Winter armor. This is better. Tenacious Formation. Gives plus 350. Defense. And here goes Sargula doing ridiculous damage. And so defense is strength in our case. So we were at like 5,000 defense. Not bad. We'll grab this. And we'll continue to grow. I think it might be time to go look for Lunaire number 3. Or not. LOL. Sword on Lunaire. And Second arm. Scavenger. Gobbo. And we'll do this guy. I don't think I saved Sargula's guys. So we have these Lunaires are all online. And we're at almost a mil. I think at this point I'm probably going to open up a path for Sargula to walk. I would really like this. But we're not going to get it. What was that? That was... I have no idea what that was. Another one where you get a copy of a stone. Cool. Defense. And not good. Nothing's good. Drop these two. And probably should expand. But we're not going to. I have the other one for next turn. There you go. We have some pathing ridiculousness happening, but it's okay for now. so many Elizabeth creatures happening. Alright, let's get this back up there, get this back up here, switch these around, and probably sell pop. And I don't like this situation, but it is what it is. Okay, so we have some Lunaires. Having the Mighty Blocks, having the 2 Mighty Blocks right away is so helpful for consistency. Okay, we definitely have to change our formation. Sargula's taking way too long to start fighting. Way too long. So we're gonna do some stuff. We're gonna change some stuff up. So first thing we're gonna do is put Elizabeth way over here. Move Sargula probably like this, and we'll do these. We'll drop this here. We'll drop that there. Okay, our 7%, and okay. Bardry instantly gives everybody online, and yeah. So when demise happens, it's not so bad because Lunaires are already doing what they're doing, and Sargula can get to where she needs to get to. 4 million damage at 235 heat. Actually, that was less than 235 heat. Now we're in a weird spot. We will re-roll, and we'll take book and think about our life. Drop this on there. Drop this here. And I think that goes to Tayson, right? Expand, sell. Interesting. I'll probably go another one here for now. Gobbo Fighter, and that's it. This might be a tough one for us. These do a lot of damage. I think they hit 3 times. Yeah, target back 3 blocks 3 times. So I only have 2 Mighty Blocks, so she's gonna shred us. Who does she hit? Who pushes the target back 3 times? I feel like I need to get Mara's in their face quickly. Nah, they just insta-killed my backline. And we lost our Sargula, so that's just how that went. Oh, we had this boss to deal with. Yeah, there's no beating that. There's no beating that boss, so it's okay. It's alright. Let's keep growing. Elite Troop, probably. Sword, for sure. I will... 25% stats, the highest tier. Yeah, versus 3. 10% stats, so that's definitely what we do. Sword goes here. And... I'll grab the refreshes. See what we get. Chow. Sharp Claws. Well, fancy seeing you here. I'll keep these. I'll merge these and we'll go with the next lunaire. And think about life. Okay, bargery, pops, lunaires are good. And we are online with the damage. Sure. Yeah, I should be able to kill somebody in the next 3 rounds. So he's at 103 heat. I'm not even going to bother trying at this round. I already have. I'll go this. We'll do that. I mean, might as well. Fuck it. We have Goblin Fighter. Goblin Fighter. Drop this. Sell this. These two are strong. And okay. Not bad. Keep growing. I don't think I need Sargula. Combine. Do this. Combine. Do this. Okay. Let's see what their stats look like. 15,000. We're at 1,000 additional. It's pretty strong, and our defense stats are quite high. So our attack, we did 7.6 mil. We're definitely in still growing. So not bad. I'll grab Captain, and we'll start. We're going to be pretty. We'll try to be aggressive next turn. 150. I think we could kill them. I mean, they're Ceres. Yeah, no, they're Connect. They're Connect. Why are they using Ceres? Ceres here to pump out stuff. Definitely interesting. Can we get archery up again? We can. Okay. So that's helpful. Everything else is good to go, right? Yeah. Okay. Frozen. Lay sad. When she unfreezes, she's going to pop. We don't get to keep all of our Lunaire juice, which sucks. But she kept some of it. Nah, not really. Not really. But still good. Good enough. Good enough to push it this low ass heat. I would have loved for these to be on our carry. So it just didn't work out that way. Keep growing. I don't think I need these. I'd like to win this one. So let's think. Who are we attacking? 175 heat here. Yeah, we can do this, this, and this. If we get it, we get to have those silver. Sweet, sweet silvers. So that'd be nice. And let's roll. Sargula doesn't get to keep. Doesn't get to keep his Lunaires all. Sad face. We lose at 175. That feels real bad. That feels real bad, man. I'm gonna look for Red Book and get it. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we're not getting Mighty Box. Maybe you just have to. I think perhaps they suppress Dragon Slayer unless you have the Dragon's Will strat. It's quite possible. I mean, that's what I would do if I was a programmer. Actually, I'll do that. Move these around. Only 2 mighty blocks. They're still alive. I think I might want to do a gate and just bury a gates back there. Yeah, so Mara's not doing much for us. Mara's not doing much for us. I think I put a Gaith in there. I don't know. Who's going to keep... Or do we do Gidnills? That would be interesting, right? Maybe Gidnills where it's at? So Mara's not doing much. Mara's not doing much. I have a Gidnill at level 1. Generates 2 spell blocks. What? So you just get to do that right away? So what if I did like 4 Gidnills in the other corner? Like, who do they go to? Nullifies damage of movers, stuns that user, and you'll receive half spell blocks while using. All ally heroes within 7x7 range and yourself. Gidnill can only receive half spell blocks when using Holy Protection. The other half of spell blocks are granted to ally heroes. What in the hell? So, yeah, that feels obvious. That feels obvious. See you in the next one.